In this video, I'm going to show you how to add an animated SVG background to a button on Squarespace. You already know how to change the color, the font, the size, even the border shape on a button, but there's nothing in Squarespace that allows you to change the hover effect. An animated background can completely encourage people to click and follow through with the call to action the button represents. Let's head over to my animation. I have a really straightforward one here, very simple. It is set to repeat infinitely. And since we're going to be exporting this as a CSS only background, we're going to need to make sure it follows the compatibility for CSS only exports. And that means avoiding using the morph animation and avoiding also the use of move along a curved path. If you don't use those, you should be in the clear. Go ahead and click export and make sure it's set to be an animated file, CSS only. And again, if you're not sure on the compatibility of your types of animations, click that compatibility table and you'll be able to check. And again, set it to an infinite loop. Click export. Perfect. Now we need to get that file on Squarespace. If you've watched the other videos, you've probably already seen how to do this. But just as a quick refresher, to add an SVG file to your website, click Pages, scroll down to the bottom where it says Not Linked, and click Link. Then click this little gear icon, and we're going to be uploading a file. Click Upload File, or you can also just drag and drop right onto the word Upload. Once you've uploaded your file, click on the title of it right here. What that's going to do is it's going to select it as if we wanted to link to it. We're going to click Save, and there's the link right there. We're going to copy this, and we are going to navigate to this particular image itself. To get to this image, to get the full URL to it, we need to go to your website. So what you can do is actually just replace your URL up here. Backspace all the way up to where it says config and paste that in and just hit enter. And you'll see that we've actually navigated to the full URL of this animated SVG file. We're going to copy this and we're going to save it right over in a text editor or a Word document or something we can get back to rather quickly. So we have now uploaded the SVG file to your actual Squarespace website, and we have the URL to access that. Now it's time to add our CSS. Go ahead and click Design and Custom CSS. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to be using the code that's labeled as 7.0 CSS, but if I were using a 7.1 template, I would use that instead. So in our case, I'll be copying that and pasting it in here. Perfect. Now, let's say that I actually only wanted this hover effect to work on just this one button. I didn't want it to work on all medium buttons. Right now, the code is set up to apply to all medium buttons. So to make it just target this one, I'm going to use this little Chrome extension that's linked to in the article as well. This Chrome extension actually pulls the ID of everything on the page, so it makes it really easy to target just one thing at a time. So if I wanted to target just this one button, I would use this block ID, and I would paste it right here before the rest of that CSS. And that would make sure that my code that I'm adding right here only is applied to this one button. Now all that's left to do is to replace this little bit here in the parentheses with the full URL that we just captured. And I saved it over here in my text editor. So all I have to do is paste it in. When I hover over this button, you'll see my hover effect is in there, and you'll see that anywhere else on the website, it's not applied because I've used that block ID. If I did want it applied across the entire website, just delete this piece here, and it'll apply to all medium buttons. Click Save and go ahead and refresh, and you'll see that hover effect. Thanks for watching.